see, I want the head on this side. Does it look better on the outside? So you're going to have 4 of those. Okay, 2 on here. Because you got a little piece of plate on the end of this thing, right? Okay. So what you're seeing, we're going to have 2 bolts, 1 here, 1 here. We could do 4. We could do a pattern of 2 this way, 2 here. Okay. But 2 is probably good for this guy. Okay. Then from there, when we lay this on it, we'll just bolt right from the back side. Okay. That'll hold that on there. That make sense? Are you seeing that at all?
Why do you do it at the top instead of just in the middle?
What's that?
Why not center it?
Because I need the height to be the same.
I mean, why not center the bolt?
Well, if I was going to do 4, I'd do 1 here on both sides. Okay. If you're going to do 2, it'd go right in the center. The only thing you're doing is holding that board on. So you don't need a ton. It's not carrying any weight. Remember, we use 1 line for blocking, then I'll just put a note down here. Block is required. I'm getting a lot of really blank stares here.
So, are you gonna end up putting something? So is that like a that you put under like underneath where the metal beam meets the column? Or post?
Right here or right here?
Right down there.
Okay, right here.
Yes.
So this is 1.5 inches. Okay. There's a couple things you could do there, but it would create a lot of work if we went and said, you know what, let's just bring the column right up to the bottom of this, and then we'll take this last 1.25 inches, cut it down, and create a groove for that to go into. We could do that, right? We could, but it's going to create kind of a weird top. You're going to be having water and it'll break down through the top of that thing. So what I would recommend is that you actually take it, so we're sitting here, and you know, this thing's, we can even use, there's 1.5 inches right there. Set that underneath the beam, like such. Okay. See if I can get this to where you all can see it. Let me do it over here on this edge. Okay, so this tabletop's my column end, right here. My beam's coming in this way, right? My 18 by 71. We'll go ahead. We're going to go ahead and weld this on the outside of this head so that we can bolt through here. Okay? Then on that, we're going to have this guy, and it kind of looks weird where I don't have a real big one of these. Okay? So it's sitting like such. Now I'm going to bolt right through here. That's going to hold this on. This guy is blocked up 1.5 inches, and this guy's going to hang down 1.5 inches, right to the top of the column. Does that kind of seem good? Can you picture
We're
it?
just so we're just drawing a line through it to show that something needs to be in there.
Yeah, and it's got to have a weld note because this is welded on.
Okay.
The end here. Okay. And you know, we'd call K&T and say, hey, when you send us that thing, put some plates on the end. We'd just give them the drawing. And then we're going to drill this with either 1 or 4 bolt hole pattern.
And then the bolt goes out outside the fascia.
Yeah, we'll go in, we'll take the bolt, so all you see from here is the head. It'll be sitting right here. Okay, right here and here. So you'll have a bolt hole here. You won't see the inside. You'll just see the bolt head.
So if you're doing a block, like on that drawing up there, you have a plate.
Mhm.
On this, do you still have?
There needs to be a 1/4 inch plate on top of this. So on top of your column. We're gonna just weld a piece of plate right on top. Now that's on top of this.
So you've actually done, you've welded a plate here, and you've welded a plate here.
Yes. So here's, let me just draw this area right here. Okay, so just that. So in essence, I'm gonna be 8 inches. I'm gonna have 1.5 inch blocking. I'm gonna drop down. Okay, so in essence, there's the drawing of my clip that's going on top of my 8 inch SSS. So this is 8. Okay. This distance right here. Actually, from the edge, we can go 1 1/8 inch and know the exact material. I think I want both sides of that one welded, but not all around. And you can have a bolt hole up here somewhere. We're going to use all 1/2 inch bolts, so when you drill a hole, do it at 5/8. If you show one. Maybe with the black.
What is it? Bolt hole.
Bolt hole. If you do a bolt hole, do a 5/8. And all the bolts we use are 1/2 inch. So there's your clip that goes on top of that. All 1/4 inch plate. This dimension from here to here. It's 20 inches. Just call it 20.
Just 20, okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna worry about, that's less than, that's 32nd of an inch. We're not gonna worry about that. That can be the concrete guys when they're smoothing off the top of the deck. You guys seeing how we just take this and manufacture it up?
So we're drawing the whole detail right now, just the part.
You can do this a variety of ways. In essence, you can do it where you're calling out the column and you can say, hey, here's the top of my column. This piece gets bolted on there, or welded on. That's really not the preferred. Generally what we'd want to do is we'd want to see top of column 1, and I would see a 2-view drawing of it. We should be able to kind of call all these materials out right here. They're only 20 inches. If you do 1.5 inches to a foot, you got a reduction factor of what, 8 on that? So you should still be able to see everything pretty well. You're going to have this, and then right by it, you're going to do another view of it, right? Because this doesn't give you the whole story. You don't know depth here. So I'm going to have another view up here where here's my column, right? Here's my wide flange beam coming off. Here's my little clip. And here's my other one coming off. With a bullet hole right there and there. However it fits on the top. We're still getting all those blank squares. Is it a Monday thing or is it just me? Okay, so if I'm looking at it from the top, you see this side, right? Again, I've kind of got my little thing sitting on there. This time, I've now got, you're looking at this like this, right? See if I can hold all this. And this guy's coming like this. So it'll be something like this from the top.
That's how it's going to look from the top.
Yeah, if I'm doing my top view. Okay, so let's say first view I'm holding is this one, so there's my top right there, right? Orthographic projection. Let's move on. We'll be all day. Try your best. I'll redline it if you need me to.
In that clip on top, the offset, that's where the rim piece goes.
This offset?
No, the like there's a
Yes,
little-
that rim board's gonna go right here. You're gonna make that to fit my 1.1 by 20-inch rim board. Okay. Technically, for that rim board, just so you know, that's a decorative piece around the outside, right? Structural engineer's not gonna deal with that. We're gonna put the beams up there, we're gonna connect the beams, we're gonna send it to the architect and say, what do you wanna do on the outside? That's their job. Okay, and make them come up with a method for that. But for us, we'll just go ahead and include it. Okay? All right, so there's column 1. Column 2. What do we have going on top of column 2? I have 2, using red hat. So column 2, let's do a top view. There's my 8x8 post. I've got an 18 by 175 heading off this way. Oh wait, this is 2. Sorry. No, we don't. We have an 18 by 71 coming in on this side. I got a 1 1/8 by 20 coming off this side. What did we do for our little wood guys coming over?
1 3/4 by 14.
So I'm gonna have here a 1 3/4 by 14. Is that correct? Did I hear you right, Sean?
Mm-hmm.
All that's gotta be sitting on top of this column, right here. And I think you have plenty of room for it, because the width of that 18 by 71 is not near as wide as that base. I think it's like 7 some inches. Let me draw that real quick and find out. W shape, 18 by 71, I want the end view. .635 inches. Okay. So that's coming 17.635. Now it's going to leave us about a 1/2 inch to put this guy onto it, right? Because that's going to, this is 8 inches. Which should be fine, because that's not carrying any weight. It's just sitting up there. Doesn't need a whole lot of room. So that's sitting there. This guy, you know, we'll bring this on about 4 inches, that on about 4 inches, we're good. You know, the only thing we've got to do here is how are we going to handle the top of this and keep all this stuff from tilting. Let's go ahead again and use some solid plate. And weld up a clip. Can we weld this one to this one? No, can't weld wood to metal. So how are you going to hold that guy up right here? Keep it from tilting.
Like one of those little brackets.
Make a little bracket for it. Okay. Now again, this is 14 inches, so it's going to be up a little bit. And remember, the top of that deck is going to have to be solid all the way across. Okay, so when you look at this one from the side, so that's my top view. I'll draw the front view up above it, which is not good protocol, but we'll do it anyway. That black pen. So what's this guy going to look like from the side? Then we're going to have our little 1/4 inch plate on top, right? Actually, let me draw this one first. There's my 1/8 inch by 20. Behind that, I've got another 1.5 inch blocking. So we'll come about halfway. My 18 by 71. Let's see, my 14 is actually less, isn't it? What's the height on that 18 by 71? Isn't it like 18 inches or 18 and a half?
18 and a half.
Okay, 18 and a half. Now, we're going to need a little plate up there for 2 reasons. One, you're going to need a little clip for this guy. Okay? So what we could do, there's 2 alternatives. We could come into the center of this and weld a little piece of 8/4 inch plate coming out. And then again, bolt that. Now, when I say this little piece here, I'm coming off the interior of this thing. Okay, so we've got that, this is my big one. All I gotta do is get to the end and just weld a little piece like this, right? Right to the web. Then I'm gonna put bolt holes in this, right here, and mount that to it.
So that's a plate welded?
If you want to see one of those, there's one right there. There's one on that one. Look at it in the middle of that. You look on this side over here or the other side. You can kind of see just that piece of 1/4 inch plate that's welded right in the middle and comes out. Then we just bolt right to it, the oncoming beam. We can bolt to wood or to metal, right?
It's welded at the top, so.
It's welded at the top as a stiffener. It doesn't have to be welded at the top. That one's not on top of a column. So they've stiffened it up a little bit by hitting top, bottom, and middle. We're right on top of a column. The baby's not gonna move.
So it's welded back here.
Yeah. So if you look at this, it's welded right here. There's that little piece. So let's say my center of this beam is right here. Okay, it's gonna be right there. So that takes care of that one. We still have this guy. How are we gonna hold him up?
Which one?
We got this 1 3/4 by 14 that's coming in sitting on top here too.
Can't you just do like a plate that goes across both of them? Or you bolt?
Yeah. So, a couple of things. This guy kind of needs help too, right? Where you need to do something with him. Now, certainly, once we get this up and that up, those two are kind of holding each other, but we probably ought to hold that some other way. So what do we want to do here? Nobody's going to see this. If you wanted, you could put a little piece of plate here. We could bolt here. Now this one, we'd probably just do a little tack weld or something. So hold on to that. So you can do that. You can do, we could do a little L-shaped bracket right here. Okay. Again, weld this, bolt that. You can do a lot of different things here. I would really probably suggest the best one would be this outside one. Right here. Because we'll never see that. That's going to be covered, because this is the outside of my deck out here. Or excuse me, this is the only part that's outside. Are we good on this one? That outside one, you've got a good picture of that in your text. I'm gonna real quickly show you that one. It's on page 1059. This one's just holding up one beam, but there's that outside piece you can put on the inside of this, right here. Just weld one straight up. Okay, 2, let's go to 3. Believe it or not, I think your big one's actually gonna be the easiest one. All right, so 3, kind of the same setup, but on here, now we are gonna have one problem with this guy. On column 3,